Hey, this is Erica Quadros here, and if you're watching my channel, you might like it if you're into easy hardy plants. So basically, what I'm here to talk about are plants that are very easy to grow, how to grow them, which conditions they want to be in, design, especially for people who aren't really plant savvy, who think they don't have a green thumb. Anyone can plant, anyone can make a garden bed look amazing if you just follow some of the easy, simple steps I'm going to go over. But today we're going to start slow. We're going to go over some easy growing perennials that are very hardy for this zone. I live in Massachusetts. We're zone 5 where I live, and there's so many beautiful flowers out right now, and just so many different colors and, easy things to grow. Like I said, for anyone, no matter what your experience is. I will tell you, if you're real hooty doody, I'm gonna let you know right now, I'm not a master gardener. I'm someone who worked in the garden center business for 14 years, so I have a lot of experience through that. I also do design work. So some people may say, oh, she's not using the correct terminology, this, that, and whatever. This channel isn't for you if that's your feeling towards it. This channel really is for people who don't really get plants, who just want to learn more about them and realize that it's so easy to garden, and really anyone can do it. So I'm here to help you out. All right, we're going to walk over and we're going to check out some of the really awesome plants that are blooming right now. All right, first up, we have a beautiful plant here. This is Burning Heart's Fall Sunflower. It's a beautiful, very easy care plant. It grows to can get up to like 4 feet high, roughly about, maybe like 3 feet wide or so. I planted this beautiful plant last year, and it was in a tiny little 1-gallon size, and now it's huge, so I can only imagine in a couple years how it's going to look. This plant is great if you want something with really stunning color, nice contrast. You have the dark foliage, and then amongst that you have the beautiful golden flowers with the reddish orange centers. They really pop. It'll give your garden a really nice color. But you want to make sure that you plant it more towards the middle or back of your garden, depending on what your garden scheme is like, because like I said, they do get tall. They'll take up some space. This is going to attract butterflies, bees. So really, this plant's a winner right here. You really can't go wrong. So next plant we're going to check out. This over here is one of my favorites. Very country, very easy care. This is the Becky Shasta Daisy. Becky is quite a beauty, as you can see. This is another one that I planted last year in a little 1-gallon size. And, just in that time of coming up now, she's huge. She's already about full size, which, this variety can get up to close to 4 feet high and wide, actually. So this is the type of plant that you are going to want to divide probably once every few years. And you can plant what you divided somewhere else. You can give it away to someone as a nice gift, and people always appreciate flowers. But it is good to do that because she does get big, and then perennials do appreciate that too, for the most part, just because it just helps them out. They fill back out nicer, and it's just good. And this is another beauty that's going to attract butterflies. And like I said, it's so country looking. It's so beautiful. The bloom cycle is pretty long on her. She'll go for quite a while. So, we're in the beginning of July right now. She opened up a few days ago, and she'll go on for, probably another few weeks. And then what I typically do with plants like this is I cut them down once they're done blooming. That's one one of the keys to keeping your perennial garden looking good that a lot of people don't know about is when things are done blooming, not everything, we'll go over that, but certain perennials like this daisy, when it's done blooming, don't just leave her the way she is, because you can get so much more out of her later on in the season if you cut her way down. I would take about 3/4 off of her and leave about 1/4, like I said, down to here roughly. And if you do that, what'll happen is that the plant will then flush, send out new buds, and get new flowers later on in the season. And it also will keep the plant looking nice and neat in your garden rather than, just seeing the old spent flowers or looking brown. So, and if you're wondering why I said to cut it so low, just like with all perennials, it'll just get better, sturdier stems. It'll flush better, it'll get fuller, and it'll just get better flowers the lower you cut it. So that is that. We're going to move on to another perennial that's one of my favorites. This plant over here, this is the Arizona Sun blanket flower. Now, I'm going to get down here, sit by my buddy. This is a great plant right here because this plant will literally bloom for you all through the summer into the fall. It's a wonderful plant, really, and it's going to attract butterflies like crazy, bees, and as you can see, the color is just stunning, really. You have a beautiful reddish orange color with the yellow outside of the petals, and the key to this one to keep it going is, it loves full sun and it wants really well-drained soil. So if you have clay soil, this plant is not going to be happy in clay soil. It's really going to want better draining soil. So you can amend your soil with, just remove some of the clay and, put a better mix in there, and that'll help. But, yep, full sun, full sun. She loves full sun. And what you want to do is as the flowers finish, you want to go through and you just kind of want to deadhead. And, you may not be using your fingers like I just did. I'm a little bit of a savage. But when you do, you want to avoid leaving too much of the tip. Some people leave the tip, they just pop the flower off. Try to go as low as you can. You can kind of see here, I went pretty low. The lower you go, the better. And by doing that, deadheading it, taking the spent flowers off, you're going to encourage new growth for the flowers to continue to bloom. Even if you don't, I'll be honest with you, this is such a reliable plant and it will keep coming. So, back to cutting things down when they're kind of done blooming. This is another one that is going to really benefit from that as well. So, even though I said that this plant's going to bloom pretty much summer through fall, it does go through bloom cycles like everything else. So, you're going to see how now it's full of blooms. It has its open flowers, it has its flowers to come, and this is what a spent flower on the Gaillardia, also known as blanket flower, looks like. Kind of neat looking even when it's done. So that's the ones you're going to want to remove right there, or if you can tell that one's just really on its way out, you can remove that too. But it's going to come to a point where you're not going to really see any more flower buds emerging right away. So that's when you can go through the plant and, just like I said with that other one, cut it back. You can cut it back halfway or take 2/3 off of it if you want. And if you do that at the time when you're not seeing any more buds forming, it will then again flush for you and send out new buds, new flowers. And I mean, I'm not kidding. I literally had flowers pretty much till frost with this. And I know a lot of growers like to say, this new plant we came out with, it's a great hybrid. It blooms, spring through fall or summer to frost. And, really that's not always the case. And over the years that I've been doing this, I've used some of these varieties in plantings, and some of these varieties I planted at my home. So I'm going off of experience of what I know and have seen. So yeah, so it's a great idea to do that with this one. Then you're just going to continuously get flowers out of it. It's a great plant. So the next plant we're going to move over to this right here is a David garden phlox. The Latin name is the paniculata phlox. These are the tall summer phlox, unlike the short creeping phlox that you see in the spring. This is an extremely hardy plant, and really it's an old-fashioned variety. Now, some of the old-fashioned varieties of these plants, they can develop mildew and other issues, and then it comes to the point where you're taking off a lot of leaves out of the bottom, and then you feel like the plant isn't worth it. This isn't that plant. This is a great variety. It's pretty mildew resistant. It's going to hold up, keep its foliage looking good. But to keep it that way, you really need to give it good air circulation. So if you look around the plant, you see I do have some annuals in here. So I do that every year to just fill in spots, because I like to keep a lot of space in between my perennials, just because things grow better that way. They're happier, they're healthier, there's less chance of disease and fungus and whatnot. So that will encourage this plant to stay healthy if you do give it good air circulation and don't overcrowd it with other plants. So that's the key to success with this one. So besides all that I went over, one of the best parts about this plant is that it gets really tall. And you can get like 3 to 4 feet tall, and it blooms beautiful white flowers, literally like all through the summer into fall. And same thing, there's been years where I've gone over. And by the way, this hasn't opened up yet, clearly, for those of you who can tell. This hasn't opened up yet. It's going to open up soon, but there's been years when I have just let it bloom. I've not trimmed it in between bloom cycles, and it just rebloomed on its own. But there's also been times where I see that it's kind of done with its bloom cycle. I shave it back, halfway or a little more. It flushes and reblooms again. So really, I almost feel like with this one, you can do either or. It's always good to maintain your perennials. Like I said, a lot of people forget to maintain their perennials. They think it's just you plant it, that's it, it's done. Really, everything needs love and maintenance. As I would tell clients who I do designs for, they would ask for no maintenance gardens. I said that would consist of rocks and boulders, because there's no such thing as no maintenance. There's low maintenance, and I can help you out with that, but I can't help you out with no maintenance. So back to the selling points on this beauty. So like I said about the white flowers, long blooming, mildew resistant, great plant really overall. And what's special about this one is that it's going to attract butterflies, it's going to attract hummingbirds, bees. It's going to attract the hummingbird moth, which is also called the sphinx moth. If any of you have never seen it, it basically looks like a hummingbird, but it's a bug. It's really cool. First time I've ever seen one, I was working at one of the garden centers I used to work at, and I was watering butterfly bush, and it came so close to me, and I said, oh, whoa, this is a really friendly hummingbird. And then I looked closer and I said, oh my God, it's a bug. So anyways, it's real cool. So this is one of those plants that attract them. So it's a really just overall great plant to have in your garden. So that's going to be it for today. We're going to wrap it up. Please watch my next video. We're going to go over some more perennials, really nice hardy plants, things that are easy. And just remember, you can do it. Anyone can do it. I'm here to help. Have a great day, guys. We'll see you later.